evening, everyone. I'm Rafael Villegas, and my teammates are Soraya, and I also have Tennis on our team. And we're going to be presenting on the influences of social media. So some of the things that we'll be covering this evening are the positive effects of social media and the negative effects of social media, the must-dos in social media, social differences of Facebook and Twitter, and the social differences of LinkedIn and Pinterest. And Soraya will lead us off with the positive effects of social media.
Okay, so hi everyone. First and foremost, social media is transforming consumer behavior and workplace environment. There's an example in the article that talks about the CEO and founder of Blendtec. His name is Tom Dickinson. And initially, he had no idea what YouTube was. And his marketing director pitched him a video idea, and now he has a series on YouTube called Will It Blend? And one of his videos has over 9 million views on the YouTube channel. And now he's guest appearing on shows like The Today Show and The Tonight Show, and giving his insight on how to build your personal brand through your social media platform. Another aspect about social media is, especially for leaders, it's very crucial to have a social media platform and take advantage of it for three primary reasons. First and foremost, it's very financially savvy. Think about how much it costs to make an advertisement through commercials or billboards. It could cost millions and millions of dollars, whereas social media essentially is for free, and you can take advantage of it because of that. Secondly, the second and third reasons kind of go hand in hand. It allows quick and fast engagement with the broader public and provides instant learning opportunity and feedback. Um, you get to find out what your consumers and your target audience want, what they don't want, what they like, what they don't like, and what they want to see improved and what they don't want to see at all. And it's instantly. So I touched base on engagement and learning. These are our three realms of social media. But I do want to talk about branding. There's another example in the article that talks about an executive, technological executive. His name is Robert Skoll, and he was working for a company, and he also he created a blogging site. And he gave technological as well as just basic insight for his viewers and readers about technology. And Microsoft saw this and they said, hey, you should be a spokesblogger for us and promote Microsoft. So he said, okay, and he promoted Microsoft, but it was kind of a win-win situation because yes, he did create somewhat of a positive image for Microsoft, but he also criticized them when they were doing something wrong. So they got customer feedback and they were able to expand their target customer audience, but also gain insight on the negative aspects of their company in terms of what they can improve. I'm now going to give it to Denise to talk about the negative side of social media.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to be talking about the two effects of social media. So we're going to start with number one. Ask this question: how do you manage your social capital? Basically, what this means is whom do you connect in the social media? So this is the boundary between personal and professional spaces, and between the private and public audiences. So this is basically where personal and public is becoming to know for your ideas. You know, you have to be able to leverage others' ideas as well as the viewpoints. And the same goes for professional and public. The goal in here is to build your recognition, is to find new opportunities, and to show commitment. So just remember to never assume the private social media will always stay private. Anything that you post on social media will be public. Even though we say that it's private, it's not. We always want to find a way to communicate with you some type of way you're going to be online all the time. So whenever you use public media, you're on your own risk. Whether if you do something good or something bad, it's your own consequences. So then we ask the question: how to manage intellectual um, capital? So this is about, do you itself of your social media strategy will depend on your resources and quality and how real your message is across to anybody who's viewing you online. So summarizing this is just always remember that social media is here to stay. It's not gonna be private, even though that we think that it is. Um, it's a powerful tool, so we need to use it smart, and we need to use it. If you wanna use it professionally. Set an example for yourself as well as for others. And that's basically what I have for you. And so I turn it into Soraya. She's gonna talk about the must-dos.
Okay, so the article mentions a couple of and some advice that you can utilize in terms of social media must-do. So first and foremost, Google yourself. After this article, I Googled myself. And what I found was slightly shocking information. And you have to realize, I don't have a Facebook, I don't have a Twitter, I don't have an Instagram, I don't have, what else am I missing? A LinkedIn. And I still found my parents' address in public view for everyone's pleasure. And I saw that they knew who my parents were, what my brother's name was. They thought I was a boy. Some of the websites thought I was a boy in my 2018. And they tried to take a go at my horoscope sign. I'm a Cancer. They thought I was Aquarius. But semantics. This also follows up with protect your identity. So in terms of what you want people to see, just keep that in mind. Create a business profile. Like I mentioned, I don't have a LinkedIn, and that also works hand in hand with use what you have to work with. I've always never wanted a LinkedIn because I've never thought I had anything to show for in terms of academic experience or professional experience, but I've realized that whatever I have to utilize so that I can broaden my network, because not having a LinkedIn is more hindering than having one. And lastly, find your presence. Just take into consideration what you want your public image to be. And now it's Rafael.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the social differences of Facebook and Twitter. So one thing that we found in the article was that Facebook has an actual higher concentration of users in South America and Asia Pacific, which was kind of alarming because you'd think maybe Europe or even the US would have a higher concentration of users, but we don't. So that was kind of interesting. Twitter actually has a higher concentration of users in Europe, and you can see here that they have 45% users, where we're only at, oh, sorry, where am I? 45, and we're only at 24. So yeah. And then I want to talk a little bit about LinkedIn and Pinterest. And LinkedIn was interesting to me because LinkedIn has a higher concentration of users in the Middle East, and this was interesting because the Middle East, for the most part, is predominantly a poor area of the world in comparison to the U.S. and to Europe. So the people there don't have access to the internet as much as we do. Maybe their middle class does, and so that's probably who's using it, and they're using it more for career advantages to possibly look for work either within the Middle East or somewhere abroad. So what was really interesting was the Pinterest part, in that the U.S. has a higher concentration than anywhere else in the world in terms of usage, and that's probably because we have a lot of people here, maybe in this classroom, that really like to scrapbook. Whereas scrapbooking hasn't really been a popular hobby for a very long time, especially in Europe. They haven't really scrapbooked, or what they call a commonplace book, since a century ago. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, we have about where am I? 29% of users, whereas everybody else is pretty low, or non-existent. So yeah, so that's just a quick overview of the social differences between Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And so now we'll move on to our quiz.
Do you guys have any questions?
All right.
Okay, would one of you read the questions for the quiz?
Alright, so question number 1. The 3 round, oh wait, sorry. We need to pass out. Wait. Yeah, do you want
Oh, thank you.
Sure. Okay, go ahead and read them.
Alright, so question number 1. What are the 3 realms of social media? Or the 3 realms of social media are blank, blank, and blank. Question number 2. What percentage of Pinterest users are from the US? 24%, 29%, 32%, or 36%? What 2 spheres should you keep balanced when you're considering social media presence? Personal and private, professional and public, personal and professional, or public and private? And is the author, Smita Gupta, for or against social media?